comment. Do we have any public comment this evening? Seeing none? Yes.
My public comment would be to bring up the Prince Walker Burial Ground. Now, this has been going around for, going on a year and a half now. The Prince Walker Burial Ground resides within the DCR watershed.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, and it is considered the most highly valuable archaeological site in all of DCR properties. The problem is there's a tree growing up the middle. I think we addressed this once before, that if it's where it was a blowdown, it would uproot all of the graves.
Oh.
So we've worked with DCR to see if they would take charge of cutting it. They went and examined it, they went out with a forester and their tree cutter, and they went, unfortunately, because it's considered buried property within the watershed, it's a conflict of interest for us. So there's currently discussion within the Cemetery Commission and also in the Historical Commission about donating might not be the right word, but giving it to DCR with conservation restrictions. So in other words, if in fact it was given to them, they would be able to go up and take that tree out and probably care for it better than the town has ever been able.
However, giving that to them makes everybody nervous because they may or may not continue to be such good neighbors. Is that the concern?
That is the conservation clause, and
Okay.
Lucy knows all about this and the wording that would need to go in it so that any disruption whatsoever or alteration of that site would require town approval.
That means
The reason I'm bringing
probably
it up
town meeting
here
approval.
is because it's been in committees. I'm on the board at the Ware River Watershed Advisory Committee. I've brought it up there. I've talked with Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan,
Clark.
yeah. What's that?
Dan Clark,
Yeah,
DCR,
DCR.
Dan Clark,
No,
okay.
that's the forester. Dan, the director. So he's open to the idea. I wanted to bring it up here so it gets on the record, because we've been talking about this forever, and then the blowdown's gonna happen, and we'll have had missed opportunity.
Mhm.
So Lucy in her capacity as the Historical Commission, and then I've been talking to Liz on the Cemetery Commission. But it just needs to get brought up and put on the table rather than left under the table.
Is it your intent to ask Lucy from the Historical and the individuals from the Burial Committee to have the selectmen agenda this?
It is my intent to drive it forward to where they can present to you what the recommendation is and what the language would be. Only then can we get to DCR, who hasn't, they probably want to look at that as well and what implications it might mean for them. But I just want to get it on the table.
So would you encourage Lucy to call the town administrator?
Absolutely.
So that we can put it on the agenda? If it needs to go to an annual town meeting, that's one thing, but if it can go to any special, we'll be having a special probably within a couple months, hopefully March.
Okay, good timeline.
I don't know if we can do it in a special, but we might be able to.
All right, thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. Any further comment, special? Okay. Welcome, Chief.
Evening.
Nice to see you.
Chief,
Okay, let's move along to the approval of meeting minutes. We need a vote on December 16th, 2025, the special town meeting, when we were all present and had very brief meetings previous to the actual start of the meeting.
make a motion that we approve the Tuesday, December 16, 2025 special town meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the special town meeting minutes presented. Those in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to Monday, January 5. We need a motion to accept those minutes. They're lengthy and detailed.
Those I was not at that meeting.
You,
I'll make a motion that we accept meeting minutes of Monday, January 5th, 2026,
Due
as
to-
presented.
Due to the absence of Mr. Venus, I'll second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those
Abstain.
abstaining?
Well done, Sandy, that was a lot to capture.
Okay, moving along. The Tuesday, January 20th, 5 PM Select Board meeting.
What?
Oh,
No,
no, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm reading the agenda. Wake up, Mary.
we got the
Wake
9th.
up. I think we're good.
We got the 9th, right here.
Yeah, I got the 9th, and those are executive session meetings. We have an open session meeting for January 9th, 2026. Those in favor of approving the open session section, please.
That one either.
I make a motion that we approve Friday, January 9th, 2025, 1:30 PM executive session minutes as written.
Uh,
No, the open session.
The open
That's for the
session.
open session. Those in favor?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
That motion is the open.
Yes, I'll second that, aye, that, yeah, because we opened the, we opened and
And
opened.
we have,
Okay.
and this will not be for public disclosure at this time, but to approve for the, at the board level, the January 9th, 2026 executive session.
I move to approve the January 9th, 2026 executive session minutes.
Not for.
Not for release.
public
Second.
release. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're good. Town administrator updates.
All right, so I'm not gonna talk a ton because I'm still about whatever it is that I have here. But I do wanna point out, I hope everybody has seen our veteran service officer, veterans parking, sign out there, thanks to Garrett and to the DPW for installing it. I wanna say the DPW did a great job clearing the roads, with the extended snowfall all holiday weekend long.
Uh-huh.
Joe Hood, the library director, secured a grant through MBI's Connected, an online program. He's receiving 30 laptops, with 10 of them are going to be available for checkout.
Excellent.
And then they'll just have different programs and stuff, and they're all gonna be programmed and ready to go, so
Nice.
that was a great, grant to get. And I'm going to paraphrase Betty Jo, because I'm not reading that whole thing. But the senior center proudly provided 301 free lunches to seniors during the staff disruption in November, ensuring local seniors continue to have access to nutritious meals. The senior center will also be seeing a change in staffing as the outreach coordinator Brenda Rich resigns from her position as of January 22nd. We thank her for her service to the center. We had a couple of public records requests, police and fire union contracts. It stated it was for academic research. And then dealer insurance bond for P&F Services Quabbin Auto, requested by a rights protection law group.
Good, oh, that's just for public records. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
just for public records requests. There were a ton of meetings. I think nobody met around the holidays, so then everybody met. It was quite crazy. I had a couple of CDBG meetings, one for the FY25 grant that we received, and one to start up the FY26 application. Met with Dr. Marshall, the DPW superintendent, John Chase, regarding snow removal of the roads and at the senior center, and it was determined that all of the snow needs to be removed from all of the town roads before they can start working on the buildings for safety's sake. In union negotiations with the Teamsters right now. Met with, for the budget with the senior centers director and the board chair to review the council on aging budget. Met with the library director and their board chair to review their budget. Attended the FinCom budget hearing. I had meetings with the treasurer collector, with KP Law for tax title, the assistant accountant. Dr. Marshall and I met with Hardwick about the ambulance service, which they are now going to be getting from West Brookfield. Barre will be receiving $20,416.69 from Hardwick for its 7 months of ambulance service to them so far. If they call for mutual aid, we obviously have to respond to mutual aid. Coldbrook Bridge, this has been quite the undertaking with the meetings with Mass DOT. There was a right-of-way meeting that I have to follow up on with town council, just for the parcels that we're going to need easements on. There was a preliminary presentation review meeting for the hearing as well, which was like watching
Paint,
dry.
yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that on camera, sorry, Mass DOT. I met with the representatives of water and sewer commissions to discuss the structure of the DPW commissions and the water sewer commissions and the continuity thereof, got their opinions, a lot of good information.
Just to note that that is a requirement under the recommendations from the Inspector General's office. So thank you for doing that. And there is we need to make a report to the Inspector General's office as to meetings such as that when we are working to see about the restructuring of the DPW commission.
Good to know, I did not know that. Okay. And then there was a bunch of other stuff. The town clerk and I met with ICC, I don't remember what they're called, regarding the Laserfiche stuff that we had started in the archiving.
Yeah.
We managed to get that built down enough that it actually fit into the budgeted amount for that. And Ellen and I are thinking maybe if we have senior tax abatement people, we could have them scan to archive stuff.
Good idea.
David Raven and I met with Ty and Bond about grants for the water enterprise. Department head meeting. Today I went to the Greater Gardner Chamber of Commerce. Met with the Legislative Affairs Division. There was a managers meeting with National Grid. Met with Brenda Rich for an exit interview. We met yesterday. And then with the
On the
budget, on holiday.
On the holiday, you were
So
working.
I've just been working, I wasn't the only one. Been working a lot on the FY '27 budget, trying to build the new budget workbook. And I have all but one, this says two, but I just got one this afternoon, all but one of the department budgets for FY '27, so. And no new concerns through, answering concerns through transparency. I don't think I got anything that I needed to answer, so that's it.
Under Select Board, comments, concerns?
I have none of this stuff.
I do.
I have one. Melanie, you and I spoke briefly about taking a really close look at FY '26 expenditure patterns. In my deep concern that we are not gonna make we're not gonna balance that budget without us making some cuts in I think, on various areas. I just don't think we are. And we haven't really looked at it from that perspective, but it's unfortunate, but I think we have to. You probably already have 6 things in your head that you think we should be looking at and making decisions about.
I actually don't have 6 things in my head
You
at
don't,
this time.
26, huh?
But yes, I believe that is actually the FY '20, their budget is on here for discussion as well.
Okay.
So you're thinking we should send another memo out to departments about spending and
Well, no, I think what we should do is sit down and look exactly about what the expenditure patterns are. Where are we heading for difficulty?
sure.
Because we'll already see that. And then we need to say, how are we gonna pull in the reins and how hard are we gonna pull in the reins? Because I do think we may have to make some, very difficult decisions during this budget year. I don't think we're gonna
Yes.
make it. I don't
Yes.
think we're gonna make it.
We've had some unexpected expenditures that are completely unavoidable just for the benefit of the town,
Right.
unfortunately. That's also taking up money.
So I think if we kind of look at what are those expenditures that have popped up that we had no idea about that are now, we have to pay regardless of whether we want to or not, and are we having overruns, because we are having overruns in some departments. Snow and ice will take care of some of the overruns, obviously, we have down in the other area. Maybe it won't snow again until, next year, but right now, we put a lot of man-hours in there. And remember, after 8 hours, it's time and a half, and on holidays, it's double time,
Mhm.
and on Sundays, it's double time. And when have most of the storms happened? Not that I think about that, but I keep saying, no, don't, not on Sunday, and then into the next day. And I traveled the roads early this morning, and I see that they were salting and sanding even some of the areas this morning, so busy times for them, and they've done a phenomenal job. Okay, moving on, here we have the Chief of Police here. Welcome, Chief, and you have a budget disclosure you'd like to discuss briefly with the board?
Yes.
Welcome forward, and
So just briefly, this is a legal advisory that is given to all police chiefs in Massachusetts by our legal counsel. And basically, it's just a conflict of interest disclosure for chiefs participating in budget processes. I'll give you guys a copy of
I
this.
think we have one.
You guys have one?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So basically, the State Ethics Commission recently issued an advisory letter to a Massachusetts police chief addressing participation in the municipal budget process. In that advisory letter, the commission concluded that a police chief's participation in the annual budget, when the budget includes the chief's own salary, constitutes, quote, participation in a, quote, particular matter under Mass General Law 268A, Section 19B1. And additionally, a chief may raise appearance of conflict concerns under Mass General Law 268A 23B3 when speaking publicly about a budget that affects the chief's own compensation. So basically, this says the commission's interpretation of the conflict of interest law in this particular context is stricter than what many chiefs and municipalities have traditionally understood. Until there is broader clarification, my legal counsel has advised all police chiefs in Massachusetts to take steps to protect ourselves by filing appropriate disclosures before participating in local budget processes. That is
And that form has been completed
correct.
and submitted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's-
Thank you so much for that update.
Absolutely.
I don't think,
Any questions or concerns?
All new this year? That's all new?
This just came out within a month or two.
it's probably not new as much as they're getting very specific about disclosure.
Yep. And obviously, in the era of transparency and keeping everything above board, I definitely want to follow recommendations.
No, thank you so much.
I'll have Maureen sign it. Do you need the original?
No, I just.
Okay, so
Just a
I'll have her
file.
sign, I'll scan it over to you tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You as well.
Okay. I think we're ready for the Regional Senior Center group to have conversations about the agreement that has been worked on.
We'll skip the warrant. We can go back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
This is the annual town meeting.
Election.
What do we have?
We have the warrant. We have the town meeting warrant.
No, I mean, then,
I have on the agenda the
She-
discussion of Regional Senior Center agreement renewal.
it's a regional school agreement renewal.
Well, it says here, discussion Regional Senior Center agreement renewal.
It should be the school.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry
so,
about that.
Sorry, I didn't notice it.
so
Yeah.
are you saying that our people are here for no reason?
What's it saying on the agenda? I just
yeah.
don't see in mine.
What's that?
Give me a copy.
Yeah.
Except they need to be here at 6:30 as well, but yeah, no, that's the regional school agreement. I don't know how the,
Because there was another one that says review of revised Quabbin Regional School District Agreement. So there's two things. There's an agreement for senior center, which
I
is
have
on
no
there.
idea
I,
what C is.
I proofread it twice, I probably just pulled it in a typo.
Okay.
No
Okay.
problem.
Well, sorry. I
So we're
guess
not
you-
ready to talk about that, okay.
Okay, let's go back to approve and sign the annual town election warrant. And that is provided for us, okay, that's a resignation. So we need the approve and sign the annual town election warrant. Do we have that in our packet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's down a couple more.
Yeah. Just use that one, right there.
Oh, okay. I just see a letter of resignation attached. Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the annual town election warrant for Monday, April 6, 2026, from 8 AM to 8 PM.
I'll second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the town meeting annual election warrant. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We also have, and I guess we'll do that later, that resignation that's attached to that. Is that something we're gonna do
Yeah,
later?
Ellen gave that to me Thursday afternoon, she's just put it with, so the select board could see that it came in Thursday afternoon.
Okay, and so
And it's added to,
the number of people we need to elect, okay.
yeah,
Okay, moving along. So we're not gonna do anything with senior center. We're gonna go to ambulance reimbursement. Melanie mentioned that
Which I had already
in
mentioned,
your,
yeah.
in your report. And this is a situation where they usually had Barry as, shall we say, a purveyor of services, and they are now declining our just, it's very complex and very troubling to me, okay? That we sit there and we say, well, we're gonna go with West Brookfield and they're gonna do everything we need. And they said, and you have to do mutual aid if we need if we need another ambulance. Am I
If
correct?
available,
Yeah, if we're
if
available.
available, that's the
If we-
caveat.
Yeah, but you and I both know sometimes we're available. So at any rate, we've had a long-standing, relatively long-standing relationship with them. And obviously prices go up and they said that's too much, we're not gonna spend that. And so we're sort of hopefully cutting our losses here and saying, okay, we're not gonna service the town of Hardwick. And we still have to service them by mutual aid if necessary.
And
And,
Chief DiVirgilio will keep track of
Yeah.
mutual aid calls
yeah.
to Hardwick for me.
Anyway, okay, review of the revised Quabbin Regional School District Agreement, which is this lengthy document that most of you have had the opportunity to review. This is the agreement that exists between the 5-member towns for the Quabbin Regional School District, and it is an agreement that is required by the Commonwealth. It is supervised and authorized by the Commissioner of Education. And I know that the school district had a group of individuals representing every town, and they had individuals who were at the table, sitting and doing their bidding and working with the Department of Education, as well as the attorney that the school district hired for this purpose. And Sue Musnicki represented the town of Barre, and she, I know, spoke at length with you. I was the alternate, and the alternates were what we call silent alternates. In other words, you sit there and you show up at every meeting in case the real person who's doing the work of doesn't show up, and then we don't have to stop the process and say, oh gee, Barry didn't come today. So I did sit through those agreement, meetings, and there were many of them, and I think they started this last year, probably in the very late spring, and continued it until sometime, I believe in December, when this redlined agreement was forwarded to the select board. This has to go subsequent to discussions by the select boards. This will go to to a town meeting for final approval, a town meeting in each of the member towns. So, Richard, I know you reviewed the document, and there's nothing earth-shattering, it's pretty much more of the same.
No, we did get the red line copy, and I was able to go through that. And then I did call Sue, who represented us here in town this afternoon, and I spent probably half an hour plus on the phone with Sue Musnicki. And we talked about the different red line. A lot of it's verbiage change, a lot of it's synonym change, a lot of it's title change from selectman to select board, from pupil to student, all that type of stuff was changed and corrected because the old original agreement was outdated. One of the significant things that I talked to Sue about was anything over $5,000 used to come back to the town for approval. $5,000 doesn't buy much today, so they upped the figure to $10,000. So anything over $10,000 comes back to town meeting. Up to $10,000 is approved by the individual select boards in whichever community that they need to spend money on. There's an emergency clause in here, so if a furnace goes down, then the superintendent school committee with the select board can act on an emergency to get students and pupils back in the building, get the furnace replaced, and then that budget comes, that dollar amount comes through the next budget process. And that's an emergency situation that obviously we could get our schools back open to protect property and allow the flow of school to continue. So after spending a good amount of time with Sue and reading the document, I have no further questions.
Yeah, the only thing that probably is not obvious is that the local buildings for the elementary schools are leased by the Quabbin Regional
Correct.
School District. They are not owned by the district. And so when he talks about 5,000, 10,000, the situation would be if you needed a boiler replaced or whatever, they can spend up to $10,000 on stuff in the building, but cannot do anything more than that due to the fact that they don't own the building. It's sort of like a rental agreement. They pay all the heat, I mean, the district pays all the heat, all the lights, operational costs. So it's just if there's a huge problem with the water system, whether it keeps it as a boiler, whatever, to get things up and running without the approval of the town, they can spend $10,000 to get things rolling, but they can't spend more than that on the infrastructure of the building without approval by the select board, minimally. And if the select board has to raise and appropriate a chunk of money to do this, then it'll be a town meeting issue that would be. Because remember, now the high school, middle school, high school, that's very different. That is owned by the district. So the district has can authorize repairs and so forth out of their own budget to do what they would have to do at that building. So where you really our concern is really at the elementary school.
I do have a couple of questions on it and a little bit of research to do, but I'm not ready to ask right now, but there's a couple of clarifying things that I think need to be put in there as well.
Okay, sounds good. So,
Well,
so this could potentially go to a town meeting, if we're gonna have one in March, could go there, it could go to the annual, because this is not like they need it tomorrow morning.
I would prefer to see it go to the annual, just because I know the superintendent wants to have a meeting to present it to whoever wants to come. I believe that's March 2nd,
Mhm.
after our select board meeting. So I don't wanna, if we are gonna have a special in March, I don't wanna rush it. I
Mhm.
prefer that people have time to look
Yeah.
at it, read it, and ask whatever questions they have.
I agree.
This is not an atypical thing. We've reviewed this and had this revoted several times.
Maureen, is that $10,000 per incident or $10,000 per budget year?
And it would be
Annually.
by incident.
Incident, yeah.
For
Oh,
example,
really?
if you had a water break in
Yeah.
February, and then you had to,
Instant? I didn't
Yeah.
know that, okay.
by
I was
incident.
thinking
And
that's
I would say, in my tenure, and I don't think we ever exercised, anything that was over $5,000 or $6,000. Because we put roofs on together, we did all that kind of stuff, but there was never an incident, fortunately. The thing that really shook the situation, not my time, but when the tornado came and took the roof off the high school.
1970.
And so that was a big to-do, but it was all 5 towns, because they owned that building. So if it's Ruggles Lane, and Ruggles Lane's big issues generally are freeze-ups. Because they have, in really cold weather like this, they probably have all kinds of things running, because they get freeze-ups there. And I know that we used to have in the budget on numerous numbers of years, putting a generator at that building, and it never sort of got through. So that would be, the town would have to pay for that. The school district would not, because it's infrastructure.
So the big thing was to move it from 5 to 10, because 5 doesn't buy much. And then
How long has it
10
been-
comes to town meeting.
How long has it been $5,000?
Oh, God, it was been $5,000 since the first regional agreement in 1960-something.
So in 1960-something, $5,000 equal to what, today?
Oh, a lot more than 10,000.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
There's not, the thing of it is, when the town says, this is our building, they seldom say, don't fix it. They probably, if anything, would be urging us to do it better and quicker and so forth. So I don't think that's ever been an issue, and I remember the concerns there, and they just said, well, let's put 10, but, we're gonna fix it. I mean, they don't have a choice. They've got to operate the building, they've got to keep it safe, and they've got to meet all the parameters from the Department of Ed, so.
and whatever capital goes in the building, we could actually take possession of the building and not be a school in the future at some point.
Mhm.
So that's effective.
Probably not, but Barry, I mean, that means we'd have no children at all. That would be sad. That would be
I
sad
didn't
for
wanna,
me.
there's other towns that are on the verge of maybe not supporting their school.
Yeah,
So
true.
it might not be Representative Barry, but other communities could be.
Okay, so more to come on that. And
Well,
I would suspect that this board would take a vote sometime after having presentations to make a recommendation to the full assembly at town meeting. Citizens Committee for Right of First Refusal regarding the potential best property. That was brought up at our last meeting last month, and individuals suggested that there be a citizens committee, and we have the authorization that we can do that, we can create such a committee. Melanie, what would be your recommendation for us on that matter?
I mean, whether or not to create it.
Yeah,
The only recommendation I have is that they don't have the authority to contact town council because our legal line is
out of sight.
out of sight.
Mhm.
So that being said, if that's the only, we would like to keep it to a relatively small group of people. I think the expectation or the thought is that they're gonna work with trust groups to see if they can get a plan of what can happen with
It's
folks.
my understanding that's what they wanted to do, was find out how the trust could help us financially if we needed to.
Yeah, if we wanted to, once the opportunity arises, that we would wanna purchase the land. And if we don't have the money to do that without either going into a borrowing situation and/or working with a trust that could help us with that. But understand, then there's a chunk of land that the trust controls. So people would have to understand what that ramifications would be. But I think, at least from what we heard from the public, that they were so concerned with the misuse of the property from their perspective that they would say, you know what, maybe we'd even put our hands in the air to do something really crazy.
So if you want to vote for the formation of the committee at the next meeting, I can hopefully have something put together, do like a charge statement, a draft charge statement, a whole draft. I
Okay,
agree.
because I know that the legal counsel has given us specific recommendations for that. Okay, so I guess I could say we're gonna move in that direction after getting to get the committee formed after conversations with legal counsel.
Is there a suggested timeline to start to finish?
Well, I would suspect that we would be ready to name the committee.
I mean, once the committee's formalized, I mean, do they have 2 months, 3 months? Because we need to understand the answers to should that change of use occur, which hasn't yet officially been presented to us as a change of use.
You spoke about this in the last meeting, I wasn't here. What, the committee, what was
They want.
how many people? You gonna use 3, 5?
Well, we gotta set that right
We
now.
gotta-
That's okay.
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anything else that was spoke about?
No, they just wanted the opportunity to have a committee, so that committee could be sort of the group that
Yeah.
would make recommendations to the board and to the planning board. And potentially prepare with the help of some of the individuals representing trusts, what it could look like for the town if, for example, we had the opportunity to take the right of first refusal, that we purchase the property, or somehow get it to stay in 61A.
I want to clarify, though, that it's not to make recommendations, it's to present
Yes.
information that they have discovered. That's
Right.
what they wanted to do,
Yeah.
as far as I know, is discover how the process would work with trusts, and then to present that information to the
Yeah.
board. So I'm gonna try my darndest to get it done for the February 2nd meeting, but I am trying really hard to take a vacation week next week.
You deserve it.
So hopefully I can get it done tomorrow. And then we can put it on there. So I would say, I mean, they're gonna have to contact the trust. I would say maybe by the end of April. Give
I
them
would-
like
I would say
2
that the-
full months.
Yeah, I would say that the trust, people who represent the trust, are very, very active in the town of Barre. They understand how to do it, they understand what monies they have available, and I would say to you that they probably could make it April 1st. Because,
Okay.
I mean, they've worked in the town before. I know that there's an effort, they wanted to take some land, right of first refusal down there by the railroad tracks where the town owns that.
Mhm.
little,
Off of 67.
Yeah, off of 67. And
So
I-
we'll say for the April 6th, select board meeting?
That would be great.
Okay. And how many members do you?
I would
think?
say 3.
Okay.
That's reasonable, 3?
Yeah, I would say-
It would be fine, yeah. As of late, I know it's difficult to find people to form committees, but I don't think there'll be any problem with this
No, I don't
one.
think, well, but they have to be individuals who really understand that there's all kinds of laws and litigation that we'd have to be preparing for, and that the right of first refusal is something they would have to understand. And I know that the people who represent the trust will know what that means. They've,
Well, if we exercise our right of first refusal, we can transfer it to a trust that's willing and able
I believe so.
to pay.
I
That's the
sort of-
way I understand the
yeah,
reading of
I-
61A, but
That's what I believe.
They need to do the fact finding, call up Mount Grays, call East Quabbin Land
Yeah.
Trust, call Audubon, call Fish and Wildlife, and see what the availabilities are, what the dollars look like, and if there's any interest in the property, and convey that back to us so that we're prepared, should and if we need to exercise our right.
Well, once it's gone, it's off the tax roll forever, though.
Well, it's not, it's, they pay their 61A.
Okay.
forever. I'm like-
Yes, but like, as that, rather than
As
a
a-
subdivision plan or something like that, you
Exactly,
know, it's a
exactly.
big difference.
Yeah,
Big
it's,
difference.
it's
Well,
not,
subdivision doesn't trigger change of use.
right. So
Yeah.
they're looking.
No, but I'm talking about,
It'd be
you know,
61A.
61A, it's an open space, farmland, whatever,
again, yeah.
as opposed to house lots.
It,
and
it
house
would
lots.
remain
Yeah.
probably pretty much just like
Yeah.
it is.
Got
Okay,
it.
we're just talking about the committee here though,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, boss. All
All
right.
right, so you don't
I
wanna
ta-
start discussing stuff, you should
All right.
already discuss.
I make a motion to form a committee of 3 members for the, what do I want to call this?
Citizens Committee
Citizens
for
Committee
right
for
of first
right for
refusal.
refusal. for-
You know, subsequent to information gleaned by the town administrator as to exactly how to structure that.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's gonna write the charge for the
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah, so we may want to, do we want to hold the vote until,
I would hold the vote, yeah, because that way I can give you
Yeah,
a draft
the
thing that
specific,
we can
okay.
then.
okay, with you,
Revamp it.
withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw the motion.
Thank you. Okay, then we have a proposal to 3-year moratorium draft, and I'm going to send that right over to you, Richard, to sort of give an example of why and the fact that we really need some legal input before we do much more.
Right, so, I took the opportunity over the past week to draft a proposed 3-year moratorium. It would be a zoning bylaw amendment called temporary moratorium for any newly proposed large-scale operation or entity wanting to develop in a residential, commercial, industrial zone area as identified in the town of Barre zoning bylaws and met. This is, it's a lengthy moratorium, and this is needed because we need to identify a new well location in the town of Barre. We had to shut one well down. That well's not gonna come back online, as I've been told by our water commissioners, our staff at the water department and DEP, which Melanie and I attended a meeting with the water group at DEP. The 2 present wells in the town of Barre are sufficient right now to supply the volume of water that's being used. If one well should go down for any reason, we do not have enough water in the additional well to supply the entire town of Barre, let alone fire protection. So the water commissioners hired Tater and Howard, an engineering firm who has a hydrogeologist, and a hydrogeo study is already underway. And that study will identify the underground aquifers in the town of Barre, which will help identify where we can site a new well. So it's very important that we stop initially for a potential 3-year period, any permitting of any large entity scale operations that wanna come in the town of Barre, because we need to figure out where we're gonna site this well. We need to know what the interim wellhead protection zone, the zone 1 protection zone, the zone 2, the circles that are drawn around these water supplies where the aquifer is drawn on when we're drawing large sums of water, where that water is coming from and what the environmental impacts or industrial commercial impacts might be on that groundwater. So it's critical for the life of Barre, the sustainability of Barre, that we get this right. It's not to stop businesses coming to town of Barre, but we need to put the brakes on initially, at least for potentially a 3-year period, and that's what I'm proposing in the moratorium, until we can figure out where that well's gonna go. We can prove to the AG's office, if we do vote this at town meeting, that the study's it's well underway, it's paid for, we've got real data coming in, and we'll have 3 to 5 sites in the town of Barre identified within the coming months. We may in fact be looking at an eminent domain situation. We may have to take property to site this well. So it's critical that we do not allow or site these type of entities to come in until we know where that drinking water supply needs to go.
Richard, does this, is there exception for an individual home? If a builder wants to put a home on an area where there's town water, does this prohibit that?
It does not.
Okay,
It does
so this
not.
is,
So-
people have to really, that's one thing I think you need to really, you're looking for commercial or industrial zone, okay, they can't come in any, like the Best property, they couldn't.
So I identified quite a few entities, because the last thing you want to do is go to town meeting, vote a moratorium, and then the AG kick it back because it's too broad. So, for example, like a coal generating electrical plant, nuclear facility, chemical processing plant, particularly new large-scale photovoltaic systems to include large-scale ground systems, battery energy storage facilities, landfills, large petroleum storage facilities above ground and below, entities that use and store large amounts of varied chemicals during the manufacturing process, and incinerators. This is not an all-inclusive list, but it's representative of the types of businesses that will be affected by the temporary moratorium, because these would all have an impact on the environment or potential well site, as I see it.
I agree with you.
So we need to at least list something so the AG doesn't think that this is just too broad and we're picking on just one entity or the other entity.
And obviously, this will be reviewed by our council. And it obviously has to go to town meeting.
Right, because this is only bylaw amendment.
Lucy?
Does this include properties outside of the public water system? Because the well could be sited outside of.
Yes.
It does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Yeah, because we don't know where the underground aquifers until this study identifies where they all are. We know our active aquifers, but we may discover something we didn't know in the history of our town yet.
Any other further questions? Are you looking for a motion to move this along to town council and
Correct. I mean, the board,
preparation for the next
the board
town
should
meeting?
certainly weigh input, and if you're both comfortable, then we should pursue, please send it to council for review.
I'd accept a motion to move this document forward to town council for review, and obviously,
Before the motion's there, I just want to state that the select board is sponsoring this. A copy has to, by law, go to the planning board, so the planning board will have a copy of it. And there also has to be a public hearing on this before town meeting.
I would move to, move for the proposed 3-year moratorium on, well, it's temporary moratorium on newly proposed large-scale operation, entity wanting to develop in a residential, commercial, or industrial zone area as identified in the town, varied by the zoning bylaws and map.
I would just add, if I might, a friendly amendment to say, as referenced in the document provided for the board's review.
Like you said.
Like I said. We have a motion
No, that's, yeah, that's
made.
fine.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded, as presented. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Richard, thank you for your efforts on this. It's really helpful to have some specifics to work toward.
Can we go back? I need to apologize to Sandy because now I remember what this is.
You gave that to me, I'm like,
I had to give this to you. So the discussion of the Regional Senior Center Agreement renewal. Now, with Brenda leaving, we don't actually have an agreement in place.
Okay.
So do you want to have a regional senior center, or not? So that's something that we should probably just pass over this until the next
Yeah.
meeting, put it on the next agenda. But it's something that I want you all to think about. I know I talked to Betty, Joe, and Dave about it as well. Because it's definitely a chance to sit back and look and make sure that the benefits, seniors can go to any senior center. It's not
I
like
didn't
anybody
know
can be
that.
turned away from
Yeah.
the Barre Senior
Yep.
Center.
Okay.
So just something to think about, and we can put it on the next agenda.
All right.
Sorry to have cut your
Sorry
supper
about
hours
that.
short.
I'm
Do we
like,
need a
what
motion to
is
pass
that?
over that?
No, I don't
No.
believe so.
Okay.
Okay, now we're set here, okay. Citizens' right, okay, now, the motorcycle awareness support that they're seeking. We have a lot of people who certainly roll
Yeah,
through the town.
I'm 100% in favor of this. It puts awareness out there to protect the people who do ride motorcycles. I lost an uncle in 1984 in a traffic accident in Worcester when a guy ran a red light and hit him. And we almost lost my aunt. We've been avid motorcycle riders in our family for decades. So putting this proclamation forward and notification to beware there's motorcycles on the roads, I support 100%. I think the chief had an amendment.
He would just like to see it for the whole season. I
So-
believe is what he had said, sorry.
Chief Sabon had, this was a time frame. I don't know if I can pick it out real quick here, but the Chief Sabon
19th.
suggested that we, it'd be for the year.
No, makes sense. You accept the motion? to participate in this effort?
Sure, I'll make that motion that we participate in the Bikers, Helping Bikers Motorcycle Survivor. This is an awareness, a motorcycle safety awareness period dated March 22nd through April 30th, the 2026 riding season. However, Chief Saborn suggests that we carry it through for the entire year.
I'm gonna second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to participate in Bikers Helping Bikers Motorcycle Survival efforts as presented. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we responsible for doing the outreach, or is the outreach done by the chief, or it's by the organization called Bikers Helping Bikers?
I will let you know.
Okay.
I think they wanted to come, I think they were asking to use the Town Hall Police Station, March 9th through March 31st, inviting citizen, Barre citizen bikers, recognizing one of our actively involved in the community. So, I think the chief did say he was okay with this police station, but we can verify that. So they're gonna come and
Okay. Make the
do a public
presentation.
presentation, and everybody's welcome to attend it.
Okay. Town Hall snow closures.
So we need to discuss your prior vote of following what the school does, because whatever snowstorm we had, where there was first a 2-hour delay at the school, and then they closed because of your vote. I had to close the town hall. A few of us still came into work. Whoever could did work from home. But there wasn't any reason that we couldn't have just had a 2-hour delay and had people come in. So I would propose that you leave it up between me and the DPW superintendent to determine whether or not to close. The 2-hour delay is, if the school's gonna
Right.
close for a 2-hour delay, then obviously the 2-hour delay is it, but closing for the day.
Okay.
I
So,
would prefer that
so,
that's left up to
so
you two.
you will take care of that communication to the employees, that's all. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm in support of that. Listen, kids on school buses without seatbelts bouncing around, all that, that's important. Those decisions are really important, but yeah, we've had 2 snow events that our employees really could have worked.
Well,
And-
technically, they're working from home.
Yeah,
well,
but you can only do so much from home.
right,
Okay.
we're trying to get away from that model,
Yeah.
if we can. And some departments actually have to open up and log into a state computer.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that from home. So
It's fine with me, I mean,
I think Melanie working with Tim, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with them making the decision, and if it's an hour, 2-hour delay, or don't come in, or come in, I think
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
okay, do we need a vote?
Yes, because you.
I make a motion to amend the snow, town hall, town building, I'm gonna say, department snow closures, that the town administrator consult with the highway superintendent, Tim Batchelor, and determine if a delay is warranted or closure.
I'll second it.
And that she communicate with the employees.
Correct.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, assistant accountant salary expenditures. You're gonna have to help us with the explanation. Melanie?
So the assistant accountant position as of the last payroll, which was 2 weeks ago, was already 92% expended. What had happened was the department had allowed her to increase her hours beyond what was voted at town meeting, without authorization from the select board, so now she is far overexpended. So the possibilities are to lay off the position for the rest of the year, vote that she only worked the 10 hours and we just overexpend by the 10 hours. I mean, it's really,
I know that we will be talking about another issue with an accounting contract. Do you believe that the accounting contract may be sufficient to mean that this person could be laid off from this particular?
no, the accounting contract is to close FY '25.
Okay.
That's the sole purpose of the accounting contract, to go
Well,
through
what would be your,
FY
what would
'25
be,
and get it
what would
posted.
be your recommendation?
I would say either A, lay off the position until FY '27, or B, make sure that it's only worked at the 10 hours a week, and we'll have to figure out where we get the money from. That is not there.
But the
I don't know where the intention was to,
So will you do further examination of the position, and do you think making the decision to keep it for a strict 10 hours a week is is gonna do it? I mean, I don't know. That's-
I think as we work through the FY twenty-five, closing of FY twenty-five, and as we change over to Vadar from SoftWrite, I think it will become apparent what the needs of the office will be.
Okay, so you're just saying we leave it at 10 hours, watch it carefully and see what happens?
No, I'm saying you have option A of doing a layoff, or you have option B of only the 10 hours that were authorized that are now already overexpended, because it will be after this pay period, it'll probably be already at 100%.
We gotta be cognizant of the fact that departments have been overspending
Oh,
for years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that's put us in some of the positions that we're in, and trying to figure out how we pay for that overexpenditure at the end of the year has been very tricky. And so I think we need to and Dr. Marshall, to your credit, you said earlier, like, we need to start reining in this year already, and
question.
we've got a situation now that's budget spent.
well, the concern that I have, obviously, is to ensure that we have accounting, shall we say, ability
Yeah.
to, address what we need to get to the state.
Yes,
That's my concern.
yes.
I mean, because we can't, give up our unrestricted local aid because we didn't meet.
Well, no, and that's what the accounting contract would be for closing FY twenty-five, they would get all of those documents together so that they could be submitted to the state. The one thing is if you do keep that position at 10 hours for the rest of the fiscal year, 10 hours is not benefited. We will need to pay out the vacation time that this individual has earned. However, it's going to take me quite some time to figure out what that is, because
Right.
she's been earning it based on 37-hour work week, and she doesn't work a 37-hour work week. So I'm gonna have to go back, I have no idea how far, to see how long she's been earning more time.
That individual has
So-
also been, or previous to taking more hours in the accounting area.
Yeah,
worked-
so it
worked
would
for the
have to be,
assessors, so
it would
she,
have to be broken up between cemetery assessors and accounting.
Yeah,
so
cemetery,
we
correct.
could offer this position is no longer available, it's a layoff, but we still have that open position, right, in the assessor's office.
That's up to the Board of Assessors, that's not up to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's not about the individual, the quality of the work the individual's done, it's just that we've expended the budget and we've got some tough decisions to make.
so, I mean, I leave it to Melanie's recommendation, what would be,
I mean, at the very least right now, because we want to make sure that the work gets done as we're assessing everything that's going on in that department and making the changeover. I mean, I would suggest just doing the 10 hours a week, and we'll just have to figure out.
and we'll
what we're gonna do.
we'll review it again and,
Mhm.
as we move forward in the next, we'll see, month by month.
I mean, unfortunately, historically, this is what I've seen going on in the budgets with Barre, is that the funds are just spent with no explanation,
Mhm.
and then they're just transferred at the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to stop. Departments cannot just be making the decision to overspend. I know that we have had to do that in the treasurer collector's office because we had to hire a mass municipal, and that was not a want, that was
I know.
a definite need to get that cleaned up. We're going to have to, whatever item this is, contract with the accounting firm to get FY 25 closed. It's not a want, it's a need, we have to do it.
And
Yes.
that's why I really say we need to look at the rest of the budget, because I think there's going to be more than one layoff.
And this was a benefit position that's gonna be a non-benefit based on 10 hours.
Yes.
Which helps.
Was insurance and all that involved in that?
Not health or dental, elected, 100% employee,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. It's a big hit, like.
Okay, so, your recommendation is to limit the position to a specific 10 hours?
That was voted on at town meeting.
Yeah, that's not a limit, that's what it
That's
was.
reverting back to what it was supposed
That's
to
right.
have been,
Yeah.
enforcing what it should have been.
We have a motion? Well,
I make a motion, we limit the position to 10 hours because we don't have, the
I
budget's
say,
expended and.
I say we limit the position for 10 hours, subsequent to continued review and evaluation. Because we may, once 25 is closed, we may say, we don't need that position at all. I just don't want you to, want anybody to think, oh, this is 10 hours and that's the way it's gonna be for the rest. I just.
Or we may need an individual for 15 hours,
Yeah.
like, we don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know.
exactly.
Right.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion made and seconded, those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie, for that information. FY '26 budget discussion, that was my thing, and that was relative to just that we really need to sit down and begin to really reevaluate where we are with '26 and see how closely we can manage it to actually close out at the bottom line.
So what I can do for the February 2nd meeting, I can print out, we can have like the BVA, the budgeted versus
Right.
actual. And I can print out the detailed versions of the
Okay.
accounts that are overexpended.
Okay,
And we can go through them.
okay.
It'll be a fun time.
Thank you. I'm sure it will be a fun time. You're giving yourself all kinds of extra work for
I
your
know.
vacation week.
I
Just
know.
saying. Okay, we also now have some work that Melanie has done on senior work-off program review.
No, we have the accounting contract for FY '25.
Okay, I forgot, I saw accounting twice.
So this would be with CBIZ, who is currently, actually not our auditors, we contracted with auditors with CBIZ on an annual basis to do the annual audits. We have not contracted them for FY '25. The accountant has identified that she is not going to be able to close FY '25 in the coming few weeks. DOR has specified that if we do not have the Schedule A done, which was due November 30th, by the end of January, that they will start looking at withholding state aid, which we cannot do. So CBIZ has drawn up this contract for us to close FY '25, to go through everything, and then produce the documents that we need to close the year. The only downside to this is that it's from $8,000 to $20,000 because they don't know what they're going to find. I have been in communication with all three of you that the ARPA funds are a bit messy. I'm working with Capital Strategic Solutions to try to mitigate some of that. If I can figure out how to clean some of that up with the help of CBIZ, making journal entries, you guys might have to vote to
Yeah.
change some stuff around. We might not have to turn back as much ARPA funds as I had originally thought.
Okay.
So it may be good timing for this whole
Yeah, I agree.
thing.
So CBIZ will be on the ground as soon as we vote?
Yes, I will send them, you'll sign the contract after the meeting tonight, and we'll
Okay.
send it over.
We have a motion to accept or authorize our town administrator to execute the contract with CBIZ Advisors for the purposes discussed.
Is that the motion?
Well, it can be, yes.
Second.
Those in favor?
all right,
And
Aye.
the CBIZ contract is here for your review. Obviously, that will be something that we will sign just before we
Yeah.
leave tonight. Okay. Thank you for chasing that around, Melanie, and I appreciate your work for ARPA too. That's really important. Okay, senior work-off program review.
So I just threw together, actually I had made this in another town, so I just tailored it to Barre to go along with the application that was already here, just so that it's very clear as to what the expectations of the program are. The only thing I forgot to do, was check with Jesse to see when he needed to have the, I'm so sorry, to have everything processed by. Here it says mid-October, but that might actually not be the case, because all towns kind of do it differently. So it just has like the outline of the program, the application that was already here. There's a checklist for Sandy to go by to make sure everything's there. There's a timesheet that people can use, and then a certificate of completion that once the treasurer enters it into payroll, would then go over to the assessor and up to the accountant.
Now, is it typical, or is this the legal requirement that the abatement is limited to 1,500? That's the law, correct?
I
I thought it went to 2,000, but I could be wrong.
No.
It was either 100 hours at $15 an hour.
Is that still the
That's where I
minimum
got
wage?
confused.
I don't know what the limit is.
Okay.
I thought it was
know-
1,500.
Well, that's what she has. I thought I heard or read that it was 2,000.
We read
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing, because I thought so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
We can
what the
verify.
limit is.
Yeah, well,
Jesse
well-
Jesse
Yeah,
could
you can
explain
change
that.
it.
Yeah, whatever the state requires
Mhm.
or
Okay.
allows.
Oh, so you want like the maximum that the state
Well,
will allow?
I would, I don't know, do we have a lot of people who do this for 1,500? No. I mean, and what's the,
For
I don't
right
even
now,
know what
they-
what is the hourly rate that's the state minimum wage these weeks?
$15.
15?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. $15 at, so it's 100 hours, okay.
On the state website, it says 1,500.
Okay, then we're all set?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
So we've had questions at the senior center about this, and one of the things that they're asking is, are there income limits that you have to meet in order to qualify for the program?
I don't know that.
So what will happen if there are not enough positions for all the applicants, preference will go to those who meet the HUD low and moderate income guidelines. So that's what happens. If you have too many people, and if you have people who meet the guidelines, you would place them before the other people,
So we must be
if
asking,
that answers your question.
so we must be asking them income
Yes,
questions.
we do.
Okay.
The other question is, so just working in the assessor's office previously, this is not reimbursed by the state, so this is money that's going out of the town without being reimbursed.
Yes.
If you do it through an elder exemption, you get reimbursement, a statutory exemption. So somebody that may meet the income limits on a tax write-off may want to have them go through an elderly exemption so you get some money back, you get 80% of the money back. Whereas-
Well, I think we can look at that.
It's a point well
Something.
taken.
Can you just share with Melanie what information you may have on that?
So I will check with Jesse on when the program needs to end, to get everything processed for him.
Okay.
I'm assuming mid-October, but I'm not sure. But other
There's
than
always
that,
something.
Okay. So you need a vote on this evening?
yes, please, so we can get,
We have a motion, please,
I make a motion that we adopt the Town of Barre Senior Tax Abatement Program for 2026
as presented.
as presented.
We have a
I'll second
motion- Motion made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Melanie.
you.
Okay, so our CBIZ is good. Okay, and then the senior work-off program. How do we advertise that, or do people just know about it? Do we advertise it at the senior center? Okay,
When I came in, it was just the same people that came and asked for an application. Some will come in
okay.
and ask for an application.
Is this voted on annually, by the way?
No, we've never
No.
voted on it.
That's what I didn't
We've
think,
never
so,
voted on it
okay.
before.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, it was just to put all the rest of the paperwork in place.
Okay.
But that's, yeah.
All right.
Because there wasn't anything, and no procedures and
forms.
guidelines in
Hmm?
place for Sandy, so.
Mm.
You got
It
forms,
was
that's
always
good.
October 31st.
Okay, annual license renewals, motor vehicle license, in holders, common victualer's license, and common victualer's license. Do we have any?
Yes.
Yep.
We had a couple of more, so I did a separate sheet. Mark
Oh.
has it.
You have okay, motor vehicle license renewal, class 2, Spring Hill Auto Salvage, A and B Auto Marketing.
I make a motion that we approve the Class 2 licenses to Spring Hill Auto Salvage and A&B Auto Marketing.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did
I have to abstain.
Yes.
Abstaining, oh, that's you,
Hmm.
okay.
So,
Oh.
so Maureen second?
Yep. In-holder common victualer's license, Insight Meditations Society Forest Refuge, and Insight Meditation Society Retreat Center.
I move we approve the in-holder common victular license to Insight Meditation Society Forest Refuge and Insight Meditation Society Retreat Center.
I'll second it.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the common vitulers license for insight meditation at the two centers. Those in favor?
Aye.
We also have a common vitulers license to approve for Mullins Herbal Tea House.
I move that we approve the common victular license for Mullins Herbal Tea House.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the Mullins Herbal Tea House common vitulers license. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, COA appointment application, Elizabeth Newell.
Her application should be in there.
Yeah, we have her application for review.
Yep.
We have people here that might want to make a comment. No, Council on Aging?
Elizabeth was appointed previously by the select board, but she had to step away from her appointment.
Okay.
For personal matters, but she is, applying again because she's in a better position to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion?
I move to approve the COA appointment application of Elizabeth Newell.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the Council on Aging application by Elizabeth Newell. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Request to use town property, Town Hall, Circle of Song rehearsal, Thursdays, January 29th through May 14th. That is 7 to 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., with a concert on Saturday, May 16th from 6 to 9 p.m. This is an annual request, so I look for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the use of the town hall for Circle of Song on, starting on Thursday, January 29th through May 14th from 7 to 8:30, and concert Saturday, May 16th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Do they pay
They paid.
they pay a fee? Okay.
I'll second it.
We have a motion made and seconded to authorize the use of the town hall for the Circle of Song rehearsals, as noted in the I guess noted in their request. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, wage authorization for Christine Gustafson for a firefighter paramedic to step one.
I should have James, but I forgot to ask him about
He's,
that.
I talked to him.
Okay.
So, yeah, first of all, it's a wage authorization, but I'd like to present the board also, maybe Sandy draft a letter and thank her for, and congratulate her for completing the program at Mount Wachusett Community
Right.
College and then passing not only the practical but the state written exam to become a paramedic, which she has done. And she was one of the best students in the class. So we need to, I would like the board to certainly send her a letter recognizing that accomplishment as one of our full-time firefighters here in the town of Barre.
Excellent. Great information. Christina has been working with us during the time that she's been in class, and she's been a wonderful contributor and a wonderful employee. I'm so happy that she's going to stay with us.
Yeah, yeah, and she's
Really?
been a fire prevention officer for many years in the town, working with the children and seniors and whatever, so
Yeah.
we're very lucky to have her, and certainly want to congratulate her on this huge, huge accomplishment. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing to know is that Mount Wachusett Community College is free. So people can participate in this program free and then have a very wonderful job opportunity and really be something that's of huge value to the community. So we have a motion made and seconded to authorize.
Well, I didn't make
No,
the
you didn't make
motion.
a
I'll make the motion.
I made a statement, sorry.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So you giving the motion?
I'd like to move for the wage authorization for Christina Gustafson for firefighter paramedic step one, $30.90 per hour.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion made and seconded to authorize the new step salary increase for Christina Gustafson, and also a hearty congratulations on her academic achievement and her thanks, and our thanks for her working so hard with our children and also our elderly and also our sick and infirmed, and we're just very lucky. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, completion, old business, completion of fringe benefits review and changes, possible vote, health insurance opt-out, possible vote. Melanie, you want to walk us?
So the last part of the fringe benefit review, the section that we did, is to decide on what we wanna compensate people who leave, who retire, if they have had at least 20 years of service, with their sick time once hired after 12/1/2025, which none of us will be here for. However, we need to vote. So at the last meeting, I had said that we should go with a percentage,
Yep.
but we didn't wanna vote because Mark was not here. So just as an example, at 600 hours at $30 an hour, if they have the 600 hours, if you pay out at 20%, it would be $3,600, 10%, $1,800, 5%, $900, pay it up on their retirement. So I just need to know from you if you wanna do 20%, 10%, 5%, 50%, whatever percent you wanna do.
Oh, anybody want to make a motion?
I like the 20% number.
I like the 20%.
Yeah.
At least 20%.
Yeah.
Should we have a motion? To authorize the payout?
Are we doing the whole document or just
Yeah,
that portion?
Just that portion, because we did everything else.
Yeah.
That was the last one we had to do.
I make a motion that we authorize the payout for accrued time at 20%.
For individuals starting on and, so anybody who's already here is on the old,
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
so start 12/1, is that
Yeah,
correct?
12/1/2025,
Going forward.
okay.
for their sick leave,
And for how many years?
at 20.
20. Okay, 20% at 20 years, those individuals who started work with us on 12/1/25.
I'll second it.
We have a motion made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And then the last thing
The-
is
the
the
opt-out.
health insurance, the group health insurance opt-out policy. I have not heard back from the unions. I would like, the board to vote to go ahead with this for non-union employees effective, for the FY '27 health insurance. I don't wanna say July 1 because they would actually have to do it prior to July 1, since deductions in June are for July.
So this just be for non-union at this time?
Yep, non-union at this time.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the health insurance opt-out policy as written for non-union employees starting FY 2027.
I'll second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to authorize the opt-out as described in this document, effective for individuals starting, what is that for, Melanie? Non-union starting, what date, start
For
date?
FY '27.
For FY '27.
Yeah, benefit.
Okay. We have a motion made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Did you second? Yeah, you seconded.
Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I know that they're waiting for our they're waiting for the room anyway.
We need 15 minutes in between.
Yeah, you gotta sign some stuff, but as long as he logs off, they're good.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Move to adjourn, please.
Who-
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.